Greetings, mobile accomplishers! Hi, I'm Mike Overville.
And I'm Dieter Bauer.
Welcome to the Trio Central Trio 680 Media Event Gala of the Year.
Right, no. Not a media gala, no. What we are going to do, though, is show you some of the technical differences between the old Treo 650 on singular and the all-new, just-released successor, the Treo 680 on singular.
That's right. Not just the technical differences, but some of the functional differences as well.
Right.
Both hardware and software.
Right, yeah, no, a lot of people will say that the all the 680 is just a 650 with the antenna chopped off. And that's not totally fair.
Yep, there's improvements in both the hardware and software again. There's the new phone app, there's the better antenna, there's a lot of stuff.
Right. Okay, well, where do you want to get started?
Let's get a look at the Treo as it's evolved over time since the 600. Compare it with some of the other older Treos out there, see where it's kind of coming from.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Let's move on and do that.
Moving on.
All right, so here we have the Treos, the Treo 600 on the far left, then the 650, then the 700WX, then the 750V, and then the 680 in chronological order by design. Besides the obvious loss of the antenna on the 750V and the 680, you can also see that they've shaved off a fair portion of the form factor. I'll show you a little bit more of that later. Also, the 750V and the 680 are pretty much exactly alike superficially. They've got pretty much the exact same form factor.
Yep, and you can see how the Treos developed over time. Like the Treo 600 started the design process that pretty much finished with the WX,
right.
As far as we know.
Right, so we went from this to this to this. They don't look anything at all alike to me.
Well, you might be a little bit too close to it.
Okay, that could be.
They look pretty similar.
Right.
It's still the same form factor. Anyway, icky poo.
I don't like antennas.
Let's see. Here we go.
It's like a country crock commercial.
Except for bad. Okay, the 750V was made by HTC, and the 680 was made by Inventec. And although the design is almost exactly the same externally, nothing matches up. The only thing that's the same is the battery on the inside. And it's like the two companies got two slightly different CAD files.
Yeah, let's hope no one in engineering gets in trouble about them not being exactly the same. You can see that the grills on the back for the speaker are similar, but also different. As is the back battery cover, they attach in slightly different ways. The 750V's got that little hole, whereas the 680 actually has the button attached right to the battery cover.
You can see the same battery.
But they do have the same battery, and they do not, however, have the same stylus. The styluses are not compatible. Explain that to me.
Different CAD files.
Yeah, so...
Hopefully we can get that one out, and we can get it out.
In any case, the only other really major difference size-wise, the 750V has just a very subtle larger hump on the back of it than the 680.
You can see it kind of here, and towards the towards where it angles in a little bit more on the 680 than it does on the 750V.
Right. And that's primarily a function of the radio on the 750V just being ginormous. It's gigantic.
You can see the SD card here, and the mini SD card on the 750 and the SD card on the 680.
Yep.
IR port, it's still there. Whereas IR port there on the 680 to give more room to the antenna again on the 750V.
Yeah. So basically, exact same design philosophy, just very slightly different implementations. With the 680, you've got pretty colors and the smooth traditional paint. With the 750, you've got the single black color, or bluish black color, and the soft touch paint.
Yep. So soft.
Yeah. All right, well, should we move on?
Moving on.
All right. A quick introduction to the hardware of the Treo 680. Let's move on to the software. Where do you want to start with that, Mike?
I definitely want to start with a phone app, because this is the best and likely the biggest software update on the Treo 680. So.
All right, well, let's take a look at that. On your left, we've got the old phone app on the 650. On the right is the 680.
Right. So as you see, they've replaced the standard boring dial pad with the Today screen.
Okay.
The singular logo is a background. You can change it to whatever you want. You also have the same background on there, but you sacrifice the dial pad for it on the 650.
Right, so on the 650 you have either the wallpaper or the dial pad. You can't have both.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as you can see, you can change various aspects of it. So if we go to the display, you can change that wallpaper just like you could with the
Okay.
that, and you can show calendar events, and it'll
sure.
change it up for you.
So it shows a little calendar event there. And
You do the same thing on the Treo, and basically what happens is you lose a row of favorites.
Oh, so when you throw the calendar events
Goes
on
down to 1.
there, the favorites get pushed down to 1 tab. Okay, well that's a pain.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's annoying with the 650. I do notice though on the 680, it's a lot less cluttered. It looks a lot cleaner.
It is. Yeah, it's a lot less cluttered than the 650, and also it's a lot less cluttered than the Windows Mobile Today screen. And that's okay. You can admit it.
Admit what? That it's cleaner? Yeah, it's cleaner. Yeah, all right. It'd be nice though. I mean, some people like the Today screen.
I am being nice.
Okay.
It is a better interface. It's less cluttered. It's more simple, and that's generally good design.
Right. Okay, so on the 650, we've got a couple of little favorites here, and to get to the rest of them, you push down, and you get this gigantic list of favorites, right?
And you scroll right, and it's kind of a bad UI design.
Right. And again, you're not being very nice.
I'm still being nice.
Okay. Well, how do you get to favorites on the 680?
It's just another tab.
Okay.
On the 650, you were limited to about 50 favorites.
Sure.
On the 680, you're limited basically by how much memory the 680 has, which is a lot of favorites.
Yeah.
well more than 90, suffice to say.
But they still work the same. You can still use them for speed dial or opening up a new text message or whatever.
Exactly, yep. They're still exactly as powerful as they used to be. They didn't remove any functionality there.
Okay. And what else we got? We have the dial pad here.
We got the dial pad, yep. And you'll notice that the numbers are a lot bigger. It's a lot easier to fat thumb a number.
Right. Yeah, that was always a problem handing the Treo off to a friend that wanted to borrow my phone for a second, is getting them to figure out how to dial. So that'll be a lot nicer.
Right.
Okay, so we've got the dial pad, we've got the favorites, we've got the Today screen. What are these other 2 tabs?
Well, we have integrated contacts now, which is nice for a phone application.
Oh, so it's no longer a separate app. You don't have to go home and
find out where it is and like, oh, well, okay. And then, call whoever that is.
Right.
So, and then lastly, we have the call log.
Okay, so that's also built into the phone app. That's nice. Well, it's built into the call log on the 650 too, is it not?
Yeah, it is built into the 650. It's just not necessarily intuitive to find.
All right.
Because you have to go to the home screen again, and then, oops, that's not what we want.
There you go.
You go to that screen, and then you press the phone button again, and no, it really just doesn't do what I want to do. So you press that, and
there it is.
There it is.
I got that little thing to pop up.
And there's the call log. So
what a hassle. Well, you can also pop up the dial pad that way too.
You can pop up the dial pad that way, but
it's
it's still kind of a hassle.
Yeah. Okay.
And you need that button in case you have the background instead of the dial pad on set in the preferences, which is another UI hassle.
Yeah. So basically, the UI on the 650 it can get you to do everything you want, but it's inconsistent, not very quick.
Right.
Whereas everything's kind of neatly and cleanly put into one application on the 680.
What you need for a phone is all in one place now at this point. You can just stay in that application. You don't have to worry about hopping back and forth and whatnot.
Right. Okay, cool.
Oh, on to the speed test.
On to the speed test. We showed you the phone app. That's the biggest change. The other relatively big change is apparently they've improved Blazor's performance with its enhanced caching abilities and whatnot. So
yeah, slightly new version of Blazor. Also the better antenna.
Yeah, and it has a better antenna for better reception. So we're going to do a little head-to-head here. We've set both of these phones' home pages to Treo Central, the full home page, and we also have cleared out their caches and their cookies and whatnot. So it's going to just be a straight-up speed test.
Right. And also when we did it before with the singular homepage, the 650 just kind of didn't load it.
Yeah, it just sort of didn't go. I think Singular must have changed the page or something. So anyway, we're going to try and make the test a little bit fairer to the 650. So let's scroll down to our web app.
Yep.
And as soon as we hit it, it's going to open the homepage. So
on zero.
On 0.
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. Well, they both loaded it up about the same amount of time. The application, I mean.
Oh
my Lord! It's just no contest. I wonder if there's a smart caching going on that we don't even know about since they were there recently. We cleared the cache, but maybe that doesn't make a difference.
Well, even still,
it's just laying waste to the 650. Oh, there it comes. Now, these are both the same cellular radio. They both run on Edge and GPRS and whatnot. So
yeah, they have the same bars of signal too.
Yeah, it's not like there's some kind of new fancy crazy new technology in the 680. It's just got a different radio made by a different company that says they get better reception, and
they're right.
New version of Blazer, they obviously do. Look at that. So there you go. TreoCentral's front page to go on your browser is a little bit heavy. You're probably better off going to Treo.tc if you're going at it from a Treo. But nevertheless, man, yeah, the 680 is
it's hung on something.
It's hung on something.
There it goes.
It's the clear winner. All right, folks. Well, we're wrapping up. That's what we've got to show you. The comparison between the 650 and the 680. Evolutionarily better, but not revolutionarily better. Is that what you'd say?
That's about what I'd say. Yep.
Yeah.
It's if you already have a 650, you have a choice in front of you. It's not a clear cut like, oh, I'm going to upgrade.
Right.
But that said, am I buying one? Yeah.
Yeah, you're. I'm rubbing off on you. You have to get every new phone that comes.
I don't have to break my contract every time that happens.
Yeah, well, I won't have to anymore either. In any case, thanks for listening, folks. This is Dieter Bone.
And this is Mike Overbo.
And we'll catch you later.
Yep.